Hey guys, nice to be with you again. Today I'm going to do something that I think is really going to help you with this persuasive essay, this next essay assignment. I want to take you back to the library's website and I want to show you in some detail one particular database that I think is going to help you find a lot of information for your essay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the library website and then take you through this step by step. As we're going through it, it might be a good idea to pause and take some notes. And then that way, when you go to take your quiz later today, you'll be all ready and you can look at those notes to help you take the quiz, and that'll be an easy A+ for you, okay? So let me go ahead and pull up the library's website, and then I'll move my face out of the way. Okay, so here we are at the library's homepage. So if you remember, on this homepage, you can click on the different tabs to search for different kinds of materials. I want to focus on the Articles tab. And when you click on the Articles tab right here in the middle of the page, it will give you directions, in case you've forgotten, about how to log into the article databases if you're not on a campus computer. So it's just your SMC username and password, so it's the same one that you use to access your email or to log into the computers on SMC's campus. So when you're putting in your username, don't forget, you only need your last name, first initial, middle initial, and the year that you started, just like the example that they've given you here. Okay, so the database that I want to go to, the steps that you need to take to get to that database. First, click on the Databases A through Z guide, and this will list all of these specific databases that we have that focus on different academic disciplines. We're looking for a database that starts with the letter O, so you can scroll down and find the O's, or shortcut, just click on the O right here at the top of the page. We have one database that starts with an O, and this is the one that you should look at for this paper. It's called Opposing Viewpoints in Context. So if you click on the link, the next page that opens is the home page for this database, Opposing Viewpoints in Context. Now, when you're on the home page for this database, you have two options. One, if you want to, you can go to the search bar and click in a search term, and then click the little search icon to begin that way, or go to the Browse Issues button, which is right here, kind of on the top left of the screen. If you click Browse Issues, it will give you a list of a lot of current topics, debates that are going on right now that could very well relate to the topic that you want to write on. So let's say that I am doing a paper on obesity, which is a more general topic that perhaps could relate to some of those of you who are writing on a sports topic, maybe. So if I want to find some information about obesity, I can enter in my search term here in the search bar at the top, or I can scroll through the different issues covered in this database. And if I scroll down all the way to the O's, it's quite a long list, I will find obesity right here. But the nice thing about browsing issues like this is that I could find other terms, other searches related to that particular search word that I'm looking for that maybe I didn't think of on my own. So for instance, I could look at Western diets. Maybe that relates to some of the things that I want to talk about in my persuasive essay. Or maybe something about dieting or dietary supplements. So this is a good place to look if you want to get some other ideas about different possible things to search for that maybe you didn't think of on your own. But I'm going to start with the keyword that I already had in mind, obesity, and I can just click right on that word, and then it will take me to the topic homepage. So let me kind of break down what is in this page for you. At the very top, there's just a short introduction. You can read a little bit more if you want. If you scroll down, you'll see these different boxes down here towards the middle and bottom of the page. These different boxes list different kinds of sources that relate to the obesity topic. So I'm just going to talk about them briefly so you can get a sense of what these different sources are. The very first one, featured viewpoints, right here. These are our shorter articles where writers are taking a side on a debate. So I'll just click on this first one right here, and you can get a sense of kind of what it looks like. There is just a little bit of an introduction to the article, some questions to think about as you read, and then the actual article itself starts right here. So when I scroll down, this is the article. You can see it's relatively short, so I can probably find some interesting information that's relevant to my paper, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time. I can find the information that I need quickly. So that's the really nice thing about the featured viewpoints category. A couple other things that I want to point out to you while I'm here before I forget about it. You can always use, again, citation tools. So if you need to get the citation, you decide you're going to use this essay or this article in your paper, just click on citation tools, and then you can choose MLA if that's the formatting style you're using, or you can choose APA. And then you can just copy it and paste it or download it and put it right into your references or works cited page. You can also email the article to yourself. You can download it. You can even send it to Google Drive or OneDrive if you'd like to do that. So there's lots of helpful things that you can use over here on the right column with these different icons. But definitely don't forget that citation tool. It's so helpful. All right, I'm going to go back to the topic homepage for obesity. And it's going slowly but surely. Okay, here we go. So that was featured viewpoints that I was just in. So again, that's shorter articles, and they're written for a more general audience. So they're going to be a little bit different than this category right here, academic journals. So academic journals are going to be much longer, and they're more difficult to read because they're aimed to an audience of experts in the field. So I'm just going to click on this first title so you can see. You can just look at the title and see, okay, this is going to be quite a bit more detailed and intense. But you can also find some really good information if you comb through these articles. So they're a little bit longer, they're for a more specialized expert audience, as I mentioned, but they can still be really useful for you. So I would browse through some of the titles under the list of academic journal articles. And maybe some of those titles could catch your attention, and one of those might be pretty useful for you in your essay. If we scroll on down, this category right here, the references. This is a great category to look into. It gives you definitions of terms and statistics. So I'm going to click on just the first one listed here. Oh, and by the way, the number next to the category, that's how many different sources are listed in that category. So there are 65 reference articles or references that I can look at in this particular category. So I'm just going to click on the first one. So this gives you definitions about what a BMI is, body mass index. So it goes over causes and risk factors. So these things that are listed in references, they're not arguments. They're not someone's point of view on a topic. They're just facts, definitions, statistics, and that kind of thing, which could be really useful for you in this persuasive essay. Okay, so that was references. Viewpoints, this is the same thing as the featured viewpoints. This is just a longer, more extensive list. So again, viewpoints are the shorter articles, argumentative, written for kind of a target audience of generalists. So they might be really good for your paper. There's also a category of videos, images if you're interested, newspaper articles, audio or podcast recordings. There's magazine articles. Now keep in mind, even though these might be useful for you to browse through, you cannot use any of these kinds of sources in your paper. So no videos, no images, no newspaper articles, no podcasts, no magazine articles. Those are not as detailed and specific enough as what you need for your college research paper. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The last category here, statistics. This could be, or one of the last categories here, statistics. This could be an interesting category for you. It does present statistics in a slightly different way by charts and graphs. So if you're a visual person, this might be really useful for you to look at to find some things for your essay. So statistics could be helpful. And then scroll back down to the bottom. The very last category here, websites. Remember, you can use one website if you want to for your paper. If you want some current, up-to-date statistics, you could use one of these. And if you find a website through this database, the Opposing Viewpoints in Context database, you know the website's going to be legit. So that's a good kind of avenue to go through if you want to find a website. Just a couple other things that I want to mention down here at the very, very bottom of the page. There's some related topic links. So that might be useful if there's some other things that you are searching for your essay. And then I also want to mention at the very top of my topic homepage for obesity, you can search within the results that you've pulled up here. So I want to do a search for obesity and children specifically. So if I enter in a search term here, it will look through all the sources on obesity to find ones that also relate to children. So if I do a search there, you can see the featured viewpoints has dropped down to 7, and then you can click on the different content types, like there's 1,300 academic journals, 117 viewpoints, 48 references. So this limits it and helps you do a little bit more focused search if that is what you need to do. So I think that's everything that I wanted to show you with this database, Opposing Viewpoints Context. Again, from the library homepage, you click on Articles, then go to Databases A through Z. When you click on Databases A through Z, on the next page, you can just go to the top and click on the O, and then you'll find the Opposing Viewpoints in Context page, and that's where you can start doing your sources. So I think this is a really good place for you to find a whole bunch of information in one particular place on the library website. So I would really encourage you to use this for your persuasive essay. Now you can still search through the library catalog for books, as I showed you in one of the previous library videos. You can still search for articles through another general database like EBSCO. That's the article database that I showed you in the previous video as well. So you can still use those. But I do think Opposing Viewpoints in Context is a really helpful place to find some research for this paper. So good luck. If you have questions, as always, send me an email and I can help you find some sources, especially if you are struggling. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.